Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for July 2023. So coming into July, it's important to remember that we are in the vibration of 7 for the year of 2023. And as we move into July, we are in the vibration of 7, as July is the 7th month in the modern day calendar, which means that we have a double doozy, a double focus, if you will, on relationship dynamics, on finding balance, peace, and harmony, not only within ourselves, but with the relationship dynamics that we deem to be of worth and value, and of course, with our environment. The whole point of the vibration of 7 for this year is to find a balanced, grounded point within ourselves so that we aren't being triggered and activated and swayed off of our, I'm going to say, empowerment stool every single time that there is an external change in circumstance that takes place. Now, July being the 7th month is definitely going to bring a brand new intensity to the relationship dynamics. First and foremost, the relationship dynamics with ourselves. We're entering into July in Cancer season. Cancer season needs to really kind of pull us inward, really identify where it is that we're not feeling safe and secure and stable in our lives, in our emotional realm, in our relationships, what it is that we have to do in order to provide ourselves with that safety, security, and stability, and to start doing the things that are actually going to nurture us back to a happy place without sitting around and waiting for someone to come save us. Of course, we will see the sun transition into Leo energy at the end of July, which means that the relationship now comes to our heart space, and who our heart space is asking us to have relationship dynamics with. We do have to get real and raw and authentic with ourselves, addressing our inner child wounds, addressing our relationship to the mother or the mother role before we have to get down to the nitty-gritty of our heart space in that Leo energy. So we are going to have to take a very structured approach to how it is that we are going to be changing the energy dynamics of our relationships. And we know this because July 1st lands on a Saturday. It is ruled over by Saturn. The moon will be in Sag energy, which means that there is a whole lot of growth, a whole lot of confidence and optimism kind of stirring in the air on what it is that we will achieve in our relationships, again, within ourselves first and foremost, and with other people secondary throughout the month of July. So let's jump into the astro events of the month of July and see what kind of energy is going to be thrown at us. On July 3rd, we have our full moon taking place in Capricorn energy at 11 degrees. Now, this is likely going to kind of unleash a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of disappointment, where our energy and action to pursue our goals are concerned. The Capricorn energy very focused on roles and responsibilities, on structures, on foundations, and of course, the full moon is going to illuminate details that we weren't previously aware of. This could be a continuation from something that we began and initiated back in December of 2022, giving us a choice point on whether or not we're going to abandon certain paths, certain goals, certain visions, certain dreams, or whether or not we're going to stay the course and just kind of scream at the top of our lungs, get that negative energy out in order for us to reorient to the path and moving forward, where we can start really making some progress in manifesting the key cornerstone foundation of what it is that we need to be building upon. At 11 degrees, it is a master number, and we are definitely going to see a full release of emotion in order for us to get down to the nitty-gritty on what it is that we want to create, what it is that we want to build, what it is that we want to bring to life, especially where our long-term goals are concerned. On July 10th, we have Mars, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desire, moving into Virgo energy. So here is a great thing. All of the blockages, all of the challenges that we have been facing since the summer of 2022, preventing us from taking action, preventing us from being inspired and motivated and excited and identifying what it is that we actually desire for ourselves. Now we are going to make up for lost time. Mars, while in this Leo energy, had us heart-centered, really getting in touch with what makes us happy, what makes us excited, what we're passionate about, what we truly want to create, bring to life, and pursue. In the Virgo energy, because it is an earth energy ruled over by Mercury, we really have to understand that what we focus on, what we think about, is what we will actually bring to life, what it is we will actually manifest. We do have a tendency to be a little bit of a perfectionist in the Virgo energy. We are a little bit of a workaholic in this Mars Virgo energy, but we are going to be making up for some lost time. What we have to understand is that we are going to be so tunnel visioned on the smaller steps, on the smaller details that actually need to happen in order to make up the greater, grander vision, dream, and goal, that we might lose sight of the magic of the vision of the dream, and therefore become a little bit too consumed with the nitty-gritty details of the plan, of the strategy, of the baby steps needed in order for us to move forward. Mercury will be moving into Leo energy on the 11th. So we come into July still with Mercury in Cancer energy, really kind of elevating our emotional wisdom, our emotional intelligence. We are blending our egoic intellect with our emotion and intuitional realm in order for us to get our heart and our head in alignment. We are seeing things from a different set of eyes. When Mercury actually moves into Leo energy, our thoughts, our ideas are going to be big. They're going to be grand. The way that we express ourselves is going to be very heartfelt, because Leo energy is the heart and soul of the zodiac. We do have a lot of things that we want to get off our chest, truly express, and we will have a boldness, a bravery, a courage to actually speak on the things that we've been keeping to ourselves while Mercury was in Cancer energy. Again, that was a very reflective time, very introverted time. The Leo energy, no holds barred. We are pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone. We are expressive in what it is that we want to see happen. The ideas that we have, they may be big, they may be grand, but we will stop at nothing in order to initiate the foundational path and pattern that we need to follow in order to actually bring some of these dreams and visions to life. On the 17th, we have two major things happening. The first is that the nodes of the moon are shifting out of the Taurus and Scorpio axis for the Aries and Libran axis. This is closing the door on the last 18 months of life lessons where death, rebirth, surrendering, pursuing are concerned. Keep in mind that the Scorpio energy was the shadow work that we all needed to do in order to surrender, release, let go of the pain and trauma of our past in order for us to create, give birth to something new. Very much that Taurus energy. We are talking about our physical realms, our physical realities, our relationships, our routines, our money matters with this Taurus energy. And a lot of change and transformation has taken effect, taken place over the last 18 months to put us on a different path, a different, I'm going to say, direction of building a reality that not only looks good, but that feels good as well. Really stabilizing that area of our life, wherever those particular signs are aspected in your chart. Those were the areas of life that we experienced the most change in. Now, with the nodes of the moon shifting into this Aries and Libran energy, we are all moving into a very selfish stage. Why is that? Because the Aries energy is the ego, is the identity. We have to build ourselves up. We've been going through a rebranding and identity shift anyways because of all the purging and releasing and changes that we've been doing. And now it's time to build ourselves back up in a better way. We have to take the leadership role. We have to be more independent, non-reliant on other people. And of course, the north node of the moon is the path that we need to get on. The south node of the moon is what we have to abandon, what we have to let go of. Because the south node of the moon is going to be in Libran energy, we have to let go of the dependency on other people. We have to let go to our people-pleasing tendencies. We have to let go of wanting to stay in the shallow end of our emotions, of our experiences, in order for us to have a new zest for life, a new excitement, a new passion, a new desire for us to pursue, which is very much the Aries energy. So this is going to be a major shift. The second event that we have taking place on the 17th is the new moon taking place in Cancer energy. So this will be taking place at 24 degrees, which essentially is more of an ending than it is a beginning. But we have to go back 2 years ago to see what kind of got initiated at that time, because that's what we're bringing a closure and an ending to. The Cancer energy is very emotional, very intuitive, very introspective, very reflective, very connected to the old. And because the Cancer energy would like to stick to what is tried, tested, and true, there is going to be an aspect, a fear narrative that comes in that makes us want to take action or make moves in order to prevent the growth, the progress, the changes that we actually need to make. We do have another energy kind of infiltrating around the new moon in Cancer that will help us to align with the inspiration, the excitement, the motivation, the determination that we need to tap into in order to make great changes. Considering the fact that Cancer energy is where we're coming from, and now the true nodes of the moon moving into the Aries energy is showing us where it is that we need to go. There is going to be a choice point that every single one of us are going to make in order to choose ourselves first and foremost, pour into ourselves, nurture ourselves back to a place of safety and security and stability so that we can wholeheartedly move away from the old in order to embrace and embody the new. On July 22nd, we have Venus going retrograde at 28 degrees in Leo energy. So Venus doesn't retrograde too often. And when she does, it has a major impact on every single one of us. Venus being the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money. Leo energy being the heart and soul of the zodiac. We are definitely heart aligned. Retrograde means that Venus is moving into the underworld. She's moving into the unconscious realm. She has to go deep within herself and really reevaluate who and what makes her happy, who and what brings her joy, who and what brings her a sense of safety, security, and stability. And because of this, we are going to see a lot of relationship dynamics fall apart. We are going to see a lot of relationship dynamics come together because a lot of the relationship dynamics that we're all currently involved with were based off of the old version of ourselves. We are all leveling up. Venus, of course, goes through this dark journey in order to beat herself down into the darkest depths of the dark pit that she puts herself in order for her to climb her ass out and be revived, renewed, empowered by the time her retrograde is done. So every single time that we level up within ourselves, that we are truly heart aligned and make decisions based off of our higher self versus our ego self, we have to shift the boundaries in our personal relationships. And because of that, we are going to see major, intense changes and transformations where our relationships are concerned. The second event that we have taking place on the 22nd is the sun moving into his place of power in Leo energy, initiating Leo season, bringing the fire back, bringing the spark back, bringing a bold, courageous type of energy back for us to get heart aligned and really pursue the path of happiness, of passion, of desire. Now, things get very playful in Leo energy, very grand, if you will. There is this, I'm going to say, romantic energy, creative energy that gets infused in every single one of us, really makes us kind of let our guard down. And with all of the other aspects, really pushing for a refinement, for a review, for a revaluation, we are needing to be heart aligned in our real, raw, authentic version of ourselves in order to make some of the moves and take action on some of the changes and transformations that are needed in our lives due to what feels good. It might not make logical, practical sense, but you best believe it is going to feel like the right move to make. Not only 24 hours after Venus retrogrades, after the sun moves into Leo energy, we have Chiron, the wounded healer, going retrograde in 19 degrees in Aries energy. So a lot of the reasons why we've been very focused on our, I'm going to say, changing of identity, changing of the brand that we are, changing our personal preferences, is because Chiron, the wounded healer, is in Aries energy that rules over the ego identity self. When Chiron retrogrades, we again move inward and we're more apt to kind of take a good look at what needs to be healed. Now, this could be through an illumination of not seeing ourselves in the way, in the light that we want to see ourselves in, and therefore we make changes because of it. But mostly it's due to building ourselves back up to a place of power, to a place of our individual uniqueness. Now, yes, the Aries energy does have us focus on the physical body and taking the action, the physical actions needed in order to restore ourselves to a place of health and wellness. So while Chiron is retrograde, we are more aware of the things that are our wounds that are preventing us from growing, from improving, from healing. And we are more, I'm going to say, assertive in taking action and making the moves that we need to make in order to address some of these problems. It really does kind of unleash a new level of strength, of discipline, of willpower, of passion, of healing. And once this retrograde is all said and done, we do emerge from Chiron's retrograde with a new level of, I'm going to say, spiritual warriorism. We're kind of bossed up in a new way. We are a revamped version of our best selves due to the actions that we take while Chiron is retrograde to address some of the problem areas preventing us from truly moving on. The last astro event that we have here in July is on the 28th, and it involves Mercury again. That's right. Mercury will be in 3 different signs throughout the month of July. We start off in Cancer, we move into Leo, and on the 28th, we move into Virgo energy. Let's unpack this. First of all, Mercury rules over Virgo energy. So this means that he is stepping back into his place of power. He just had rulership over Gemini season. He just had rulership because Mercury himself was in his other powerful placement in Gemini. He just had his rulership over the new moon in Gemini, and then we moved into Cancer season and we stripped him of all of his crowns and all of his titles. Well, he's back into his place of power. Virgo energy is an earth sign that is ruled over by Mercury. So this is very much mind and matter, which means that what we focus on, the ideas that we have, the narrative that we allow to loop is what we bring to life, what we manifest. And that is a super important thing to remember because we can manifest both good and bad. And because Virgo energy tends to be a little bit of a nervous Nelly, tends to be a perfectionist, tends to be a little bit judgmental and highly critical of oneself, we're going to have to be very cautiously aware of the narrative that we are allowing to loop in our mental plane. We become very focused on the details of our mental plane, of our mental narrative, of what it is that we are focused on, the details of our habits, of our lives. We want to examine where there is chaos, where there is disorder, and we want to put things back in their place, especially where new ideas and new narratives are concerned. I want you to pay very good attention to what happens around the 28th because newsflash, spoiler alert, Mercury will be retrograding in this Virgo energy when we move into August. So a lot of the topics and themes that are going to pop off when Mercury first moves into Virgo are the things that we're going to have to review, reflect upon, revise, revisit, rework, redo, realign. And because Virgo is in earth energy, this has a lot to do with our day-to-day tasks, our chores, our habits, how we show up and be of service of other people, where it is that we fail to show up in the same way to take care of ourselves, where it is that we have to come up with better routines in order to kind of flow through our days in a much better way. So if you are just kind of wondering where this retrograde is going to impact you the most, definitely look up where Virgo energy rules over in your chart. And this is going to be the topics and themes that are going to be restructured and reorganized as we move into August. So that is the astro events for the month of July. If you're ready, let's jump into them one by one.